people. It's good to be here again, right? I hope you're doing great as I am doing great too. If you're new on this channel, my name is Ololade Adeniji. Welcome to my channel, Lolade Talk. In today's video, I'll be sharing with you a few things that I know that you should never do to get married. Never, 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 never. I will share with you things that you should never do to get married. In one of my videos, I shared 5 things that you should be doing while you're waiting. But in this video, I will be talking about things that you should never do to get married. The things you should never do while you're waiting. I hope you find these tips helpful. And if you do, make sure to give me a thumbs up and also drop a comment for me. I would like to read from you. If you're new on this channel, make sure to subscribe to this channel if this content sounds like what you would like to see regularly. Subscribe so that you get notifications when I upload new videos. Alright, without further ado, we just get right into it. The first thing on my list of things that you should never do to get married is acting desperate. Like, this is a common thing, right? Like, you hear people say, she's desperate, he's desperate, and sometimes you wonder, like, how how am I desperate, or how am I showing that I'm desperate? It's not your fault, right? Sometimes we really cannot tell it ourselves that we are beginning to act desperate, right? But I'll just mention a few things or a few actions that can help you know if you're beginning to act desperate. Examples are like, you're always available, you're always there. Every time you're available, you're available. You now seem like you don't have anything better to do with your time or with your life. I'm not asking you to form busy, so that's what I'll say. But the moment you see that you are beginning to, make yourself too available, easily accessible, check very well. You're beginning to act desperate. Or you drop your standards. I mean godly standards now. You're beginning to make some compromises that you should not even be making, even as a Christian, as a child of God. Maybe you're too clingy, you commit too quickly, you rationalize bad treatment, or you even ignore red flags. You're beginning to do the chasing. You know what I mean? You are the one doing the chasing now. That means I'm talking to my gender. You're the one doing the chasing, the pursuing, you know, and a whole lot like that, everything, especially for ladies. Whatever it is that you're doing that is not feminine enough or that is not godly, and then you're beginning to drop godly values and pick up worldly values or pick up worldly counsel over godly counsel. Babe, you're beginning to act desperate. Sorry, but I have to say, the second thing I have on my list of things that you should never do to get married: living a stagnant or regretful life. I mean, don't put your life on hold because you want to get married. Don't begin to say, oh, till I get married before I do this, till I get married before I do this. I have to get married so that I can do this. No, now you can't thrive like that. Don't put your life on hold to get married. Don't pretend to be what you're not to get married. And don't pretend not to be what you are to get married. Instead, see this season, this period, as a time to invest in yourself. I've always said this. I've said this times without number. See this season as a time to invest in yourself, to invest in your growth, to do those things that you really love to do and to become the better version, the best version of yourself. So don't live a stagnant life or a regretful life, and don't put your life or the growth of any area of your life on hold to get married. or till you get married. The third thing that I have on my list of things that you should never do to get married is to try to help God or to try to manipulate Him or even manipulate the other person. You know what I mean? Don't try to, don't do that. Don't don't try to help God. Do your part and be sure that you're doing your part and leave the other to God and to the other person. I hope you understand what I'm saying. Like seriously, I have to do this video because I've got a lot of people like ask, oh, so what is waiting about? Blah blah blah. And in my previous video, I think I shared a few things that you can engage yourself with while you're waiting, or that you should be doing while you're waiting. But in this particular video, this is what I'm talking about. Don't do it. Don't try to do for God what He should do, and don't try to do for the other person what they should do. Do your part and leave the rest for God to do His own and the other person to do their own. Because trying to help God or trying to help the other person will most likely lead to frustration, especially when it backfires or if it backfires. And that can also lead to dissatisfaction, really, because you won't even really understand what it feels like for someone to actually work. I mean, do their part. So do your part and leave the rest for God to do His. Leave the rest for each party to do theirs. I mean, God and the other person. In a relationship, marital relationship, and in every relationship, there is always a role for every person. So let each person do their role, right? Let each person fulfill their own role and you do yours. Don't try to be manipulative. Mhm. Don't try to be manipulative. And don't try to help God. You've been doing too much. The first thing I have on my list of things that you should never do to get married. Don't give in to pressure from family, friends, society, or anybody. Don't mind them. You see, they are married. It's not they are married now. It's not their marriage. So leave them. Let them do their thing. You do your own. Don't give in to their pressure, especially when they ask you to start to do things that are against the word of God. Run for your life. Please, we are talking about you having a successful marriage, establishing a kingdom marriage, having a blissful home. You don't want to find out at the end of the day that you actually made the decision out of pressure or under prayer or under duress. Please, so don't. If any friend or any family member is trying to put pressure on you, ask them, tell them I said, is it they are married? But seriously, if you're making any marital decision, let it be because you find peace, happiness, and fulfillment in it, and not because you are under pressure. Yeah. And okay, the fifth thing I have on my list of things that you should never do to get married is dating without vetting. And then I'm sure someone is like, what is she saying? I know what I'm saying. A lot of times we date, but we don't vet. You're dating, but you're not observant. You're dating, but you're not checking out the person. You're not really checking. And then when you're checking out someone, you're getting to know them, you know. But what I find out a lot of times is we date to commit, we date to marry. Two persons that just get to know themselves. And in a month, they're already talking about getting married. The ladies are already thinking about a shabby wedding dress. I'm so sorry. But yes, please don't do that. Dating is dating. When you're dating, vet the person very well. But don't do that. Don't do that. There's a difference, a huge difference between dating and courtship. They are two different things. Dating is different from courting. So don't date to commit too quickly. Date and make sure you're vetting while you're dating. Date to get to know them, to get to see the real them, to get to know them, and don't commit too quickly. Please don't. You, this is why there's so many break up here, break up. Because you're committing too quickly to someone who has never talked about commitment. Like seriously, this person is just getting to know you. Allow yourself to know them. Vet, check them out. Ask the real questions. Talk. I mean, you guys should converse, communicate, talk, and don't meet them on the first, second date. You're already thinking about wedding dress. You're already talking about a shabby. You're already thinking. Are you already saying things like, soon to be Mrs. A? It's all good. Don't get me wrong, it's good to be optimistic, right? Yes, it is. I mean, for ladies, I mean, that's how God has fashioned us. They're like that. But even while you're there or while you're doing that, make sure that deep down within your heart, and that make sure that you are conscious about the stage that you're still at in that relationship. Make sure that you're conscious of the fact that you're only getting to know this person. He has never asked for or talked about commitment. He has never talked about being exclusive. So, hey, allow yourself. Just get to know them. And doing this or having this understanding will also help you to set boundaries. It makes it easy for you to set boundaries. You will know, okay, since this is what it is, then we can't go beyond this, or we can't do this. These are the things you can do for now, and it makes you look like, I mean, it makes you come across as the classy babe that you are. Don't be caught unawares. Also, don't entertain unrealistic expectations from someone who has never talked about commitment or being exclusive yet. Don't. Just free your mind, have an open mind, explore, get to know them. And while you're getting to know them, make sure you're getting to know them for real, like for real. And the last thing I would like to say, which is like a bonus to this list, is isolating yourself. That's another thing. Don't do that. I always say, don't do singleness alone. Make sure you have supportive friends and family. Leverage on family, the love of family. Make sure you leverage on the love of family. Belong to a community that helps and supports your growth and encourages you to be the virtuous woman. Yeah, the virtuous woman that you are. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I hope you found this video very helpful. I hope you find these tips that I've shared helpful. The 5 things you should never do to get married. Don't act desperate. Don't live a stagnant or regretful life. Don't try to help God or be manipulative. Don't give in to pressure from family, friends, or even the society. Don't. Make sure that every decision you make is because you have your peace, you are happy about it, and you believe that you'll find fulfillment with that decision. And the fifth thing, don't date without vetting. Don't date to commit too soon. Don't date without observing. Know that dating is getting to know them. Make sure you're observant. Don't commit too quickly. Hmm? Understand that there's a big difference between dating and courtship. There's a big difference between dating and courting. So I hope you find these tips very helpful. I hope you had fun. It is because I had fun. If you find these tips very helpful, do give me a thumbs up. And yes, I want to know, I'm sure that you have some other things or your list of things that you should never do to get married. My list are actually not exhaustive, so I would like to harvest more things, I mean, more tips from you. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, make sure you do right now. Subscribe to this channel so that you get notifications when I upload new videos. I'll see you again in my next video. Make sure to take care of yourself. Make sure that you're winning and thriving. See you again in my next video. Bye.